Hello guys and welcome back. We are back finally. It is our first podcast in a while and we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff, but we're going to get straight into it. We're going to be talking about the transfer window. Now we've got, I don't know, about 6-7 days, under a week left. I think.
Yeah, a week today.
A week today. Frankie, talk to me about the biggest deal that has happened so far.
Yeah, so in the last hour or so, at least for me, we found out that Danjuma, he was set to go to Everton. I believe his medical was done over the weekend, and Tottenham have hijacked the deal. Obviously, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm very happy with it. I can't say I've seen the player a lot of times. Jack's told me that he's a very decent signing.
Bournemouth and Villarreal.
I know that he has had very good moments at Villarreal, and what Tottenham do need at the moment is a backup attacker. I would have preferred Zaniolo, but that one didn't look realistic. So I think if it's a loan deal with an option to buy or even a mandatory fee, I'm happy with the signing. I think we needed it. The amount of times we've seen this season, Richarlison, Kulusevski, both out at the same time. Yeah. It's not something that was ideal for us, and we definitely struggled. And with Champions League coming up, we need that depth. So I'm happy with it. Does it make it a good window? No. I think Pedro Porro is the priority. That right wing back, we can sign backups and stuff, all good. But in terms of the first team, it's not good enough. The thing with Conte is I've seen a lot of Tottenham fans say Conte out. For me, it's ludicrous. He's been great. And second, you can't judge a manager when he's not been given the players for a system. You've got Emerson Royale, who's
not getting backed.
Exactly. He's all right defensively. Awful going forward. Conte's system, look at Perisic. He's a winger who's just put wing back and gone, yeah, mate, go on. And Perisic has been immense. We need that on the right-hand side for the balance. If we can get Pedro Porro, it would be exceptional, I think.
Do you reckon Conte walks if he's not getting back?
I've heard he is going to. I've heard he is going to.
The thing is, for me, he's such an emotional guy. Like, he's really reactionary. Kind of like you, Mason, with your Palace reactions.
Right,
sorry for the little dig. But no, but seriously, nice one, Jack. Seriously, with the team, I think that Conte likes the team. I think that I've heard many rumours, Darmesh on Sky Sports, saying that he believes or he's heard that Conte will not leave Tottenham until he wins a trophy. But I don't think he'll be here until he dies. So in terms of how realistic that is, I don't think it's the case. I think it's like 1 week we lose and I hear rumours a lot of his friends have died and he doesn't want to renew his contract, or he's not in a great space, or he just wants to leave, or he's angry he's not been backed. And then I'll hear the next week, because we just beat Fulham yesterday, I think he said in the interview, I love Tottenham. If Harry Kane signs a new contract, I know he loves the club and I want to help him win a trophy. And I'm like, for me he's too reactionary. My honest opinion is that the club will be desperate to renew his contract, and I think that he will stay. I think him and Harry Kane will both stay, but that's being optimistic.
Yeah, but the thing is though, right? You've got to look at it the other way. Maybe Conte's thinking, well, I want to win something. I know that'll take quite a while, to achieve, but maybe no signings at all. Tottenham's squad ain't going to be good enough to get into the top four. So he's probably looking at next season and thinking, well, Europa League football. He ain't going to want that.
That's not Conte, is it?
That's not Conte, no. So that's probably another reason why he's thinking of walking.
Yep.
So Danjuma, out of 10, what would you give him if he's on the top?
Like I say, I'm not particularly educated on him, but in terms of a position, in terms of what I've heard, I'd give it. Obviously, we don't know the fee. As a player, I'd give it like an 8. I think in terms of, I think we need him. I think he's a good player, and I'm very happy with it. I must say, it was a nice little surprise to find that one out.
Yeah, and another transfer talk is Anthony Gordon. So we'll get on to Everton in a minute with their manager, but Anthony Gordon to Newcastle.
Yeah, I saw that. I
haven't seen that one.
I think that is just a stupid one. Obviously, we saw Chelsea try to get him in the summer.
Spurs, even when they got Richarlison.
Wasn't like 60 million?
It was like 60 million for Richarlison and then 60 million for Gordon. I was like, if we do that.
Offering players as well? Or is that
we were desperate for him. We really were. Yeah.
And then I think he's shown this season how bad he's been. He's not a £60 million player. He's not even a £20 million player.
I do think it's harsh because I think Everton have been crap in total, and we'll get on to them later on. But I think that I think he's a good player. I don't think 60. It's one of them where it's the English tax, isn't it? Yeah. If he's not English, I think he's considered all right.
Was that 12 goals in about?
Yeah. He's not like a world class player. I don't think he's a world class English talent. He's not the next Foden, so I wouldn't.
So now we're going to move on to Jack and Mason, obviously myself as well.
Yeah.
Obviously Palace haven't really been in the window, but in the last 24 hours confirmed that we're looking to sign Stuttgart midfielder. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Ahamada.
He's 20 years old midfielder. Apparently he's a bit like Eze and a bit like Decore. He's a bit of a mix of both players. Jack, do you know anything about him?
Well, I know he obviously plays for Stuttgart. He started in the Bundesliga for them. He's a mix of both of them. I think he's very good on the ball.
He reminds me. I've only seen literally 2-minute
Well,
highlights.
Crystal Palace.
On Twitter, but he looks a bit. He plays a bit like Unana from Everton as well. We might get onto him. We're
He uses. I mean, he uses
He's
his body
quite tall,
very
I
well.
think
He
he's
uses his body
like-
very, very well.
He's like 6'2", isn't he? 6'1".
Not at all.
But I think for me and Mason, obviously, you've been vouching for the last sort of couple of
Please,
weeks.
yeah. Begging.
Begging even to sign midfielders, right backs, full backs,
Jeffrey
a striker.
Yeah.
Are you now finally happy that he might not be sort of a player but are you happy with finally getting in a midfielder to hopefully improve that midfield?
Kind of, but the thing is with that is there's other positions on that pitch that I think, even though I have been crying out for a midfielder, as you say, it might sound stupid, but we need positions more than a midfielder. Backup left back.
Yeah. Even right
A
back.
better right back, even though we've got two.
I still think you should get Spence from us,
We've been linked with him.
Maybe,
We've been
yeah.
linked
I
with
think
him.
he'd be a good
We
player.
want to get
for
him
you
on loan.
Even though we've got two right backs, I don't think they're good enough.
They're not.
No, neither do I.
So
If
yeah.
you get
Another
this guy-
Frenchman for Vieira's flock.
Do you think this would mean that the Gallagher thing
Well,
story's over?
we
or-
once again,
Partly.
I think yesterday, tried to get him on loan and they rejected that.
So do you think that's
So
why
I
you're going
think
in for this
Gallagher's
guy?
not
Or?
gonna happen.
I think he's a Parish player. I think Parish will always try and go for him, but I don't think
Yeah.
that'll ever happen. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Fair enough.
We've got to move on. Listen, he was brilliant for us for half a year, and the second half he wasn't the best, but he's still done the job. But I think we just got to move on. Got to look
Yeah.
for new midfielders. Try and give Eze.
Bargains.
Yeah, and also I think Gallagher also
bargain basis.
hindered the way Eze plays. And I think
I do
obviously
believe
Eze's
that.
so young. He's one of our best players. I think we need to really focus on what we've got
Yeah.
now instead of what we can get.
Yeah.
So I think for
Yeah.
us, but also, obviously Vieira said in an interview just a couple of days before the Newcastle game, I believe, that they've identified the targets. Now it's up to the chairmans. Obviously, two chairmans
Stick
come
on the
out.
chairman,
Two
of course.
came out a couple of days ago that Texter is willing to invest, but it seems like Parish isn't. Apparently, they're arguing. Obviously, a lot of stuff going in the background. Obviously, as us
Yes.
Palace fans, we know that maybe we don't have the best of owners. Obviously, it's more focused on the top six nowadays. But I think I saw a stat. We're like I think the Harrises, they're like top six from the most rich club, and we've invested the least amount. So, do you think that'll be the only signing we get if we even get him in? Knowing Palace, even for a medical or something. But do you reckon getting a right
Or
back?
he'll have a long-term injury as soon as he signs.
Yeah.
Knowing us as well.
Yeah, I mean-
But look, I think I can't rate this window until we find out in the summer how much money we've left behind. Because if it's, I don't know, a huge sum that we've left in the summer, then maybe some of it could have been spent in January for the end of the season, make it a little bit better.
Problem is with that is that January clubs are mid-season. They do not want to lose
They ask
players.
for money,
They
and also
ask
the World
for.
Cup's just ended.
Let's
Not a big
say
mix.
you've got your midfielder. He's a great player, but even a Championship midfielder, of course, the pool is there. But I do believe even as a Championship club, you are inclined to add another 5-10 million on because you're losing the mid-season, and there is a rush of 1 month to
Even,
even sign them and replace them.
Even Frankfurt's midfielder Sal, we were interested in him
Yeah.
in the summer. Could have got him
25
for,
million.
could have got him for like 20 million, but now they want up to 30 million.
So, so
I
it's-
think you lot
it's
aren't
10
in a
million.
desperate position where I think if you were closer to the relegation battle, then I would be
Yeah.
like, just pay the extra 5 mil. You got these rich owners, but I do get the logic of there's no point paying the extra 5 mil
You can
if
wait.
it's not. Yeah, if you could wait 6 months, it would be clever business. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by your transfer strategy at the moment.
So-
I think I'd be a bit livid as a Palace
16 goals and 2 assists. Sorry, not 16 goals. 16 games,
Yeah,
2 goals
Yeah,
and
yeah,
0
I was
assists.
gonna say. But to talk about Palace's transfer window or lack of it, and obviously Spurs now bringing down Juma.
Yep.
Boring.
Let's
Chelsea,
talk about the big one. Obviously,
the biggest spenders.
from pretty much from I'd say September to
Yes.
December.
Yeah.
It was looking at Arsenal. They've got this man, Mudryk.
Yeah.
He's got
Mykhailo Mudryk.
out of nowhere. Chelsea, £100 million.
Yes.
I know we've got the fantasy
Smash.
group chat.
Yeah.
Going mental. Giovanni, obviously an Arsenal fan, going mental. James
Yeah.
thinking what's going on.
Yeah.
He is now there, £100 million. He's now the
Yeah.
joint most, I believe.
I
Yeah.
think it's 100 million euros. I think he's like
Oh.
third or
I
fourth.
believe it's
Yeah.
88.5.
Yes, it is,
It's 70 million euros up front.
Yeah.
30 million in instalments.
Yeah.
But he's played his first game. Looked pretty
Promising.
well.
Promising.
But What are your thoughts on not only Chelsea's transfer strategy, because they brought in so many players.
Yes.
And they're obviously still looking to bring in, but thoughts on that signing?
Well, he's unproven, and that is the worry. And he's also, I believe, only got 12 goals at the age of 22 in the Ukrainian league.
In his whole career, I think.
His whole career, yeah. So I think that is a worry of Chelsea fan, but I think he's an unknown entity in terms of his pace, his speed, maybe the way he plays as well. I mean, he's not moulded to the way maybe even kind of normal European players play.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Chelsea are a bit of, as well, I think, are a bit, kind of a strange one this window because of, obviously, they've spent more than, I think, La Liga, Bundesliga and Serie A all combined.
It's ridiculous. They spent like 700 million.
7 million
since Bowley's come.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they spent more than that, and I mean, that shows, the Premier League, we've got the mega rich owners in the Serie A and League,
It's
La
why it's the
Liga,
best
and
league
all
in
of
the
that
world.
stuff. They've all got their scraping the barrel in debt, and but was Mudryk overpriced? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it a panic?
I'd say so. Was Mudryk kind of only targeted because Arsenal?
You
We're after
said this a couple of weeks ago. You said how Todd Bowley looks at players that the other top six are buying and then just throws an extra £20 million and gets them for it. But for you, how do you think this season will play out for Madrid? Do you think he'll do well?
Well, I was beaming as he said it now. I think the thought of him not going to Arsenal, it hadn't even crossed my mind. I heard the rumours about Chelsea. I thought, we all saw the Instagram post he was putting up. 2 top managers, all of this.
And then
He absolutely loves it.
Out of nowhere, a fab tweet.
Exactly.
Do you see
I was loving it. So
that as well?
I was on
Rice
court at
said
the time. And I remember I was almost celebrating as if Tottenham had just bought a £100 million player because the thought of him going to Arsenal, I thought he would have confirmed. I mean, it looks like they are on track to win the title at the moment, I must admit. But I think
Replaced him with someone arguably better.
arguably and for a lot less, but I think
that?
Mudryk's the much better signing in terms of the player. Maybe not value for money, but I think that
Sorry, our friend Barnaby is just...
yeah, he's loving it.
Wait.
But I think that it's a great signing for Chelsea, and I'm so glad that Arsenal didn't get him because I think he's a top player.
I think what I find funny with Arsenal fans is all of a sudden they now hate him. They're calling him a flop. And also another thing, which I saw with Chelsea fans, although he looks like he's got record amount of pace, he was up against James Milner.
We did say that. We said what was that
James
thing
Milner.
about the Nicolas Pepe going past Prime Van Dijk, and it was like flirting. Mudryk going past 37-year-old James Milner, harassment. It's that sort of thing.
It was brilliant. Didn't he clatter him at one point when Mudryk just put on the afterburner? He was going to
Just knocked it past.
I think Liverpool did change their right back, and then after
They
that,
did.
Mudryk was a
As
little
soon
bit
as
less,
Mudryk
but
came on,
Trent came on.
So, and that was the same as well with Joe Ward and St.
His run
Maximan.
was
That was the
very
same.
nice.
That was the exact same. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the run was very nice. From Mudryk.
He was good. He had a
It
few.
would have been a good goal.
It was, and that was, it was a good mid-table game. To be honest, I quite enjoyed watching that one.
What
But,
do they call it? The El Midoff.
no, I
El
don't think I can
Sakico.
say it, but it was the El Crapico is what we'll call it. But neither clubs are looking great at the moment. But I think Mudryk's a very good sign. You know what? I've been saying to my mates who are Chelsea fans, they're like, "Oh, this much money on this guy, that's ridiculous. Why are we buying the same position twice?" I think they're doing crap in the league. But I think that if I was them, I'd be over the moon because the way it could have gone with Abramovich, they could have got some crap owners like United or you lot. It could have all gone downhill. The fact that this bloke, whether he knows what he's doing or not, right? The fact that he's spending this much money, Madueke, I think, can be a top player. Mudryk can be a top player.
Very good
the way we
sign,
saw
by
it in the financial fair play, the 8.5-year contracts is risky, but I rate it. I think it's something that I admire.
And they're all so young.
Yeah, the future. I think the only issue with Todd Bowley, and we've said it before, is the biggest decision he's had to make, which is the manager, I think he got wrong. No discredit to Potter. I think sacking Tuchel was the wrong decision.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they need a better manager. I think we've already had that discussion before.
Yeah.
So I think
Speaking of managers,
yes. Speaking of sacking,
And
as
Chelsea
well.
legends.
Yes,
Wow.
there you go.
We're now going to move on to, I would say, our main topic.
Yeah.
Today.
Quick, can I just add, by the way, Mudryk heavily criticised, by the way, by Ukrainians. Because of the Ukrainian flag, and someone basically tweeted and made everyone realise that he looked really happy, and he's in a stadium that was built by a Russian.
A club
was built by Russian. All the players that he's excited to play with was funded by Russians.
Yeah.
The club he loved is basically built by a Russian owner. Very heavily criticised
So now
for
going
that.
back onto our main topic of today.
Yeah.
Everton, obviously, yesterday. I think it was around 4 or 5.
Yep.
They confirmed the sacking of Frank
Yes.
Lampard. We saw that coming.
Yes.
Although we're only halfway through the season,
Yeah.
which you think about it is a bit shocking. But yes, we are halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard is now gone. I think they currently sit, I believe, 18th or 19th.
Sean Dyche, Wayne Rooney, I believe, are the two front runners.
I've never rated Lampard, and I think that he was never going to be, you know, a good manager. I've always thought he was crap, whether it was at Chelsea or whatever. I think that you were saying there, Gerrard and I know Bielsa are two of the front runners.
And they were also thinking about Thomas Frank.
Rooney.
Thomas
yeah.
Frank, I know, Rooney as well.
Rooney.
Yeah, sorry, Rooney. I do think, although again it's unrealistic, I think Dyche.
Dyche,
Yeah, I think I've said this for like every vacancy in the Premier League, but
Dyche.
no, I
Yeah,
think
Dyche.
they should try and get Poch because I could see him. What he did to Tottenham.
Everton.
What he did to
Too
Tottenham,
big time
where Tottenham
now.
were like a mid-table side, and then he took them, and then he was, you know, he just took them from an all-right club to second in the league Champions League final,
Yeah.
and that was without money. Everton have got money; they've got the fans. I think he can
Yes.
go there, play good football, you know, put out a good brand for the club, and I think that if they could get him, it would be.
I think his
dream
resume / stock is too high.
I think, obviously, I've got my brother and my sister
Yeah.
are Everton fans. My
Obviously.
stepdad is
Yes.
an Everton fan.
Yeah.
And he's been going on about how much he just hates football now. You know, all the Everton
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah.
Apparently,
So,
well,
I would
I've
if I
heard
was
the
an Everton
owners,
fan.
the Everton fans are more livid with
they
the
hate
owners
They-
than with
they-
the
I think
Lampard.
They're in a lot of debt, I think.
A lot of
actually,
debt,
Everton.
yeah. Obviously,
But
Tottenham.
they've got the fans, you know, we know how good Goodison Park is. Yes, they are
Yes.
moving soon. And I
And
always
some
play this
docks.
running joke in the family group chat. Got a multi-million-pound stadium, but you're going to be playing Luton at home.
Yeah.
But I think Everton, they do need. I think, although Dyche will definitely keep him up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they did it with Sam Allardyce a few years ago. Panicked,
Yeah.
sacked,
I
got
think,
a manager for
for
6
me, I
months.
think they should bring in a manager, that can get those young, exciting players going.
Yeah.
You know, I think
But what top class manager?
I think
Poch
Bielsa.
is the best
Rooney?
for youngsters.
Rooney would be.
Would-
I
would-
think is. I think
Would Rooney?
I think Rooney's a risk.
I think Rooney is a risk. Yeah.
I think it's
Obviously done well
I
for
think
Ghana.
those are the kind of risks that the board
Will
will
take.
not
I think
mind
Everton
taking. I
may
think
mind doing,
because as
maybe.
well, it will revitalise the stadium within it, and I think the fans will almost see that the club have ambition.
It's an Everton legend as well. Isn't it?
Everton legend, Evertonian grown up,
Of course.
so they'll kind of see that in the dugout and actually get behind the team. But they already are behind the team. I think it's more the owners and Lampard. From the Everton fans that I know, they said to me that they don't like the board or anything like that. They don't like how the club's run. But Lampard they feel bad for. I think when they got the point away at City, and they also got the point, I think I wasn't even a good team, I think they were away to, but they got a point away at them as well, and they were
Bad
singing
Palace.
back at us, of course. But they
One of
were
their only
singing
3
his
wins.
name, singing his name and all sorts. And I think he said they are behind Lampard. They don't want him to fail. They're not behind the board because obviously debt and stuff and bad recruitment as well. Obviously awful. But I think Lampard was given maybe a poison chalice. Would you say?
But
Possibly.
talking about the board, but on the pitch, right? I watched West Ham, Everton on Saturday,
What's a
and I don't even think West Ham were that good. Like, you know,
They've been crap this season.
you know, Everton going forward. I said it on the live on the TikTok on Saturday.
Go follow by
I
the
said
way.
Everton have actually been the better team, and I switched it back on, and West Ham have 1 up. The defending was so bad.
was really, really poor for
Like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. Like Everton fans, you know, going for Yerry Mina on social media.
And sorry to butt in, but did you see the
The
Frank
fans.
Lampard, the fans of Frank Lampard,
Lampard,
and
yeah.
how scared he looks? Honestly,
He
he
was shook.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah, he's
Like,
like,
honestly,
but they were speaking. He's just like, oh, thanks by the way, thanks for that.
Oh, yeah,
So
but
funny.
carry on, Mason.
It was
Sorry
like
to
he
butt
was
in.
surprised he was receiving a compliment,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
But I think he knew the writing was on the wall. I don't think
Yeah.
He knew. He
knew because obviously Everton are also out of the FA Cup, so their next Premier League game.
I think
is in
that's
2
harsh
weeks'
though
time.
because they played United away.
And they did all right.
They played alright. And again, I think that was another game that they kind of were like, oh, okay.
Mm.
I think the performances most of the time were there,
Yep.
but it's a results business.
I think since this World Cup they've been awful. I think before the World Cup they started to look alright. You know, that win against
Yeah.
Palace. I can't cherry pick another couple of results. I don't have it. I've forgotten. I'll be real. But
Fair enough.
when I've seen them play, they look like a team that were well drilled. That midfield, the way Iwobi was playing.
Yeah.
Got a point with Liverpool.
Yeah, they started doing well, and I think the World Cup came at a wrong time for Frank Lampard. I think he didn't.
I think it's come at the wrong time for a lot of teams,
Yeah.
Palace as well at the start of the season, Spurs as well.
Definitely us.
Thing is, right, looking at Everton's next 6 fixtures before, they've got a really tough
Arsenal,
run.
Liverpool.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Leeds at home,
Should
Villa
win that.
at home,
Should win that.
Nottingham Forest away,
Should win that.
Brentford at home, and then they've got
Could win that.
Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, Fulham, Palace,
Yeah.
They always
Easy
turn
win.
up for the derby as well. So
and then they've got Newcastle as well. And then before they run in May, where they've got Brighton, Man City, and Wolves, etc.
Yeah.
So they've got a tough run. I think whoever does come in, it will definitely have a difficult chance. But or difficult job, I guess.
Yes, definitely.
But okay, I'm gonna go run through everyone.
Yep.
Who do you reckon Everton will get?
Who do I think they will get? Or who do
Or
I think they should?
Okay, go who? Yeah, who? And or
Okay,
who you want.
I would say they should get Pochettino or Bielsa, but I will say that they will get Dyche or Rooney. I'd go for Sean Dyche, I reckon.
Okay, Jack. What about you?
I think it's very difficult. I think Bielsa, again, is one of those where it would probably work, but it also would cost a lot of money and would also take a lot. Like
He needs a pre-season.
he
as well, I
builds,
think.
and he builds like players' campuses on site, and you have to spend a lot of money to satisfy him.
Yeah.
I think Poch's resume is too high now. I think, and his
Maybe,
stock's
yeah.
low. Tottenham, PSG. He's not going to go from Imagine Mbappe to Demarai Gray.
Do you think Poch is waiting for the Tottenham job in the summer if Conte goes? Because I could see that happening,
Is it that, or is it that he got?
Yeah.
Is it that, or are clubs
Not.
maybe
After that
keen?
PSG,
Maybe not
should've-
keen because of PSG, and they also think our big personality is going to bully him out of decisions. Like obviously, there's rumours that Mbappe and Neymar were kind of doing that.
Yeah.
But who I think they will get? Wayne Rooney.
The thing is with Bielsa is that, I know you can't compare Leeds and Everton, like really.
Or big clubs. Big
Well,
clubs
I mean,
mid-table.
Well,
No?
yeah, but Bielsa managed to get a relationship with these players when they're in the Championship to get them ready to be in the Premier League to fight to stay up because it was their first season back.
7th.
With Bielsa being at Everton, coming in now, it's going to be huge pressure on him
Yeah.
because the fans need to see some sort of comeback, some sort of
Improvement.
bounce
Yes.
with
Yeah.
this new manager. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Bielsa, and that's why I don't think that Everton are going to get him for just that reason alone.
Yeah.
I reckon they will. I reckon Dyche just to keep him up.
I think the decision will say a lot about the board because I think if they do go for Dyche, it's them saying we could get relegated. Let's just stay up
Keep
because
the money,
football
yeah.
hasn't been
The
great.
money, it's
if
the money.
they do go for, I'm going to take Poch out of the picture. I do agree with Jack. I don't see that happening. If they do go for a Bielsa, where they're going to play that kind of more
Money.
attractive football. Then that shows that they care as much about the brand as they do about I don't know, the future of the club kind of thing.
Parachute
I think
payments.
for me,
Don't need that.
I reckon. Obviously, I think I think they should go for Bielsa or a Dyche, but I reckon they go with someone familiar. Dunk,
Big Dunk.
big Dunk.
Lewis
does-
Dunk,
What?
good player.
Really?
Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Yeah.
Duncan
I don't see
Ferguson.
that one happening. At all.
I reckon they.
Honestly,
he'd be
he could,
in 10.
yeah.
I think he'd be in 10. I think
Interim, yeah, he'll be interim.
Ainsley's actually taking-
Really?
Yeah, he's taking over the training, isn't he? Interim,
I
yeah.
reckon.
Oh.
I reckon. So I think they dunk. I reckon they go for
Dunk. Really? I think the problem is with Everton, they have very rich. Oh yeah, rich owners. Farad Mashiri is very
Yeah.
rich, but he, by the looks of it, is getting more. He's more signing the checks. Bill Camwright, the actual chairman, is making the decisions, and I just think Rooney, because he will want new football, but he'll also want, I think, as you say, Frankie, a guarantee on survival.
Yeah.
Dyche would probably keep him up. They did it with Sam Allardyce before. They talked about in debt earlier. The fans aren't happy with the debt. That the parachute payment debts would be unbelievable if they dropped down to the Championship. So would it then be stay up, make sure our revenue, our thingy, make sure we're playing Premier League football in the new stadium that we spent however much
Yeah.
money, $1 million on. So I think it'll be. I could see a Rooney, but he has just taken the job at DC United. But I think it'll either be Rooney or
And he's
Dyche.
playing with Christian Benteke.
I think Dyche would love it. I'm thinking about it. Obviously, Tarkowski and people he knows familiarly.
From Burnley.
But I think it's a whole style of play. Imagine lobbing the ball to Calvert-Lewin and Solomon Rondon.
He's left.
Solomon Rondon has left.
Oh,
Get up to Calvin.
But Calvert-Lewin,
What's his
I think
name?
is
Neil as well.
yeah,
No.
he's not so much of a
Awful.
target striker, but I do think that just hit it to Calvert-Lewin. He's great in the air. I think he's perfect.
He's
for
injured
that
all
think
system.
he was-
I think he's been injured more times than he's played games for Everton, I believe. He's missed more games than he's played for Everton, I believe.
I think Dyche will definitely get him up. What about
Fair.
Tony Pulis? Get him in.
Oh God, or Sam Allardyce getting back.
Tony Pulis.
Honestly.
What a manager.
Honestly, but
It's funny how Palace have had every single of the
Brexit manager, yeah. Pardew, Allardyce, Pulis, yeah,
Before we
exactly.
move on, actually, a good bit of football news that your shirt reminded me of with Juve. Obviously,
Oh, yeah,
Juventus
that
getting the
might be-
15 points deduction, and a big thing for
I
my
was going
club,
to touch on
Tottenham.
this, yeah, Paratici.
Fabrizio Romano. Fabio Paratici has been banned in
2.5 years.
Italy for 2.5 years, and they think that this will be followed on into the whole of Europe, which means that Tottenham's sporting director, who's brought in brilliant players like Emerson Royale, will no longer be able to work for us.
Can he not have a background influence?
This is what I thought. He's not going to prison. Can't he just be at home and then he's ring someone up and be like, "See that regular guy?
great.
Get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out of the club." I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but I'd be gutted if we lost. it.
Yeah, Juve are 15 points, but
What's
as I
they
say,
now 11th?
11th financial fair play rules, which I believe, again, go back to Everton, that is also what Everton are a bit worried about, financial fair play. They've spent lots of money. I mean, the one that really sticks out to me, Daily Klassen, £35 million.
That's what I was thinking of.
35 million
pounds. I always think of that
for him,
Klassen.
and I think he played about 10 times. They also got the GOAT, the man, the myth, the legend, Gil Sigurdsson, that window.
Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Kilfie.
Yeah,
I
we
love it.
won't touch on that one.
Whee! But is Lampard... So, yeah, what does Lampard do from here?
I reckon he will get the England job once.
Oh,
Southgate-
no, I've had enough.
Don't
That
even put
man's-
that suggestion.
You know we talk about
universe.
Martinez, like Roberto Martinez, and his resume now is like Belgium. Who did he get? Portugal now.
Yeah.
He's
Everton. He
Steve
was,
G wants to go to.
Poland. Don't know why,
I
but
absolutely
honestly, Lampard
hate
would be
it.
the same though. 1 year at Derby, and since then he's got Chelsea, Everton, and the England manager.
I do reckon he is. I think it makes sense for the FA to pick him. It doesn't make sense for us, but I reckon it will. I think Lampard or maybe
Golden boy.
or maybe potentially West Ham. David Moyes gets sacked. I haven't talked about Moyesy. Could he
course,
go
yeah.
back to Everton? And could Frank Lampard go back to his
Well,
former club?
That again, that's
another West Ham.
thing that people are a bit.
I don't know about that. I don't know about like swap at the bottom of the table. I don't think either of them two moves will
I think,
happen.
to be fair, I think a bit. Let's touch on West Ham because
Yeah.
they, for the past 2 years, probably since Moisey retook over, they've been amazing. Top
I've
7.
hated it. They've been competing with
Top
Tottenham
7.
really for 7th place.
You know,
Yeah.
they went on a European run last year. They're still in the Conference League this year. They've in this summer they brought in some fantastic
Scamacca,
players.
yeah, it's mental.
Yeah.
They brought in so many good players.
Yeah.
And they sit 16th. I
16th
believe.
in the league.
It's
16th.
mental to me. Not only that they're 16th, but that he hasn't been sacked.
He hasn't been sacked. Yeah. And
Well.
yeah. So,
But-
where do you think how do you think West Ham will recover from?
I think for them to stay up, they have to drop the Conference League.
Is
What do you mean
sacking?
drop the Conference League?
They can't just drop
just
it.
sack
They
it.
can't renounce it.
No, I don't mean
They
just
don't-
forfeit
they
it,
don't
but
focus
just.
I
don't
think
focus
they'll
on
stay
it.
up comfortably. If I was them, I would
Yeah.
be most focused on the Conference League because I think that's the only thing that they can
I
achieve
think
this
actually
year.
they could probably get an Europa League, but would they want Europa League?
You think they can get you? Oh, you mean by
They'd
winning
win
the
it.
Conference League?
Winning
Yes.
it.
No, I agree. I'd go
They'd win
all the. You know what? If they finish 15th and win the Conference League, that's a successful year, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think West Ham
Stay
fans
up.
take
Trophy.
that's the equivalent of finishing 5th in the Premier League, essentially. Not
Yeah.
financially, but you've got Europa League football.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that final.
Yeah.
They would win a European trophy. Do you know how mad that is?
Yeah,
with
Palace,
West Ham.
well,
That's
Palace
mad.
finished 15th in the league and nearly won the FA Cup. So yeah, and I said that would have been a good season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's different. You know, West Ham last
Big
the
club.
Year before finished
West Ham are a
second.
big club now.
Palace the year before finished.
Also, though, I would say the Conference League's a lot better to win than the FA Cup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it is European tour. European tour.
Europe.
Well, but if Palace would have won the FA Cup, they also would.
They would have got on a European tour. That is true. But
There you go.
is
There you
is
go.
so? Do you reckon David Moyes not being sacked is to do with Gold's death?
I think it's to do with faith. I think we saw it with Arteta and a lot of clubs owing stuff.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. And
Yeah.
you know what? I don't think it's an awful decision. I don't know how he hasn't been sacked yet, but you know what? I don't know how I'd feel as a West Ham fan, because
Yeah.
I could easily sit here and be like, I wouldn't be that mad. But then if Tottenham had a similar thing with a bottom half the table, I would want the manager gone. I don't care what's going on. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. Yeah, I think he's earned the right to have some time with what he's done with that club. Obviously, this weekend we had, I believe, Bowen and Antonio scoring, or what?
No,
one of them
double
set up
for
the
Bowen.
other.
Yeah.
So Bowen got set up by Antonio, and it kind of reminded me of last year in fantasy football, and everyone had, Ben Rama,
I saw a
Antonio,
TikTok too,
Bowen.
don't worry.
Yeah. No, genuinely, it is mental to me how poor
Yeah.
they've been.
I mean, looking at Derby's next.
Derby?
West Ham's
Yeah.
next run of fixtures. They've got Derby in the FA Cup. Forget that. They've got Newcastle away, Chelsea at home. That'll
Yeah.
be massive, and Tottenham away.
Yeah,
Is that going to provoke more price for him to be sacked?
I reckon
potentially
if
so.
he loses those games, I think there might be probably more.
If he loses all of them, 100%, I think he gets sacked.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah. Should
So,
we-
do you wanna
Speaking
move-
of fantasy, actually,
how's
we haven't
fantasy?
we haven't touched on it in a while because we haven't filmed for a while. This is our first one back. We've actually got
A
a
new
new
leader.
leader. Jack's been leading the whole season,
Devastated.
and I think it's by 3 points now. Jake since the World Cup and has an absolute blinder, and
I've had
he is
2
up.
game weeks.
3
in second.
points.
Mason, you've got it up. What are the overall scores at the moment on the league for us? Because I do think Jake is 3 points.
Week or
ahead of
total?
Jack. Total.
Right, so I'm bottom as usual.
How much?
with,
How much?
1,069.
Way.
Hey. Then Frankie's in third place with 1,186. Then Jack with 1,263, and leading by 3 points is Jake with 1,266.
That's crazy. I'm like 80 points behind second.
with
That's ridiculous.
92 points this week.
Yeah, I've had a couple of
Wowzers.
good weeks. I think for me, I was on call with Barnaby and Frankie. I think it was on the Friday. We were playing FM, and I said to him, "You know what? I don't like Brighton. I'm going to bring in Matoma." And straight away, he gets a goal, got 3 bonus points.
It was good. It was
Got
good.
me
Yeah.
10 points.
Well, since for you, since the
96,
restart,
yeah.
96 points, all right, 58 points, 60 points, 86, 92.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had a good couple of weeks.
Yes.
And
Good
I've been,
couple,
I've been
about
just above the average every
Yeah.
week. I said I've been
I
about
mean,
8 or 9
For
points.
me, obviously, I said at the beginning of the year, I'm not focusing on that league. I'm focusing on my family one because there is some rivalry going on. I won't go into
You
that.
and United fan.
Yeah, me and my uncle.
Yeah. Critical mistake from you in your first on Boxing Day week. You didn't put Mitrovic in. You got 15
Too much
points.
faith in Palace, really. What a
Well,
shock.
I didn't have Mitrovic in. and
I didn't
luckily,
have
some of my players
Mitrovic.
that played got
Callum
15
Wilson
points.
didn't play.
I had Callum Wilson
Yeah,
instead
he
of
didn't
him.
play and I got 15.
I think I brought in Mitrovic this
Livid.
week, and
Yeah,
he
Mitrovic
should have
did-
bad against us. to be
Mitrovic
honest,
didn't
but-
do nothing again. Needed goal from him, and then I would have been all over.
Ivan Toney had to get a yellow.
I needed Perisic. I
He probably
needed.
had a bet on.
He probably had a bet on
yellow
that,
card
yeah.
At some point
We
during the
haven't
game.
touched about that, but
Yeah.
What is going on
Strange.
with Ivan Toney? How has he been allowed to play
256
football?
I took him out of
betting
my fantasy team,
breaches.
and I thought, right, he's surely got to get
Listen, I
suspended.
don't know how it works, but the FA have gone right. We're suspicious of
256 betting
but,
breaches.
But because why
scoring
not?
goals.
You can just play football.
Because
Yeah,
considering
he was all like,
Trippier got banned for 6 months and he's done 4 or 5.
Yeah, he was like
He's,
4.
he's done like 200 more and he's not get banned yet.
yeah.
But should we quickly go on since Boxing Day? Since the Premier League
Yeah.
season.
How have we found it?
Yes.
How we found it? Because obviously I think there is a big one. Brighton, how well they're doing.
Oh,
Don't get me started, mate. Please.
Oh, I was saying to you yesterday, you lot aren't in a position to moan about your rivals doing well. Imagine Brighton being top of the league. It's torture.
but also Brighton, a small club.
No, true. But I think Jake was saying in retrospect, for Brighton to finish like 5th is like for Arsenal to finish first for us. But I was saying it's not, because as much as, yes, they're overachieving and whatever, like Arsenal, winning the Premier
Yes.
League. Winning the
Yeah.
Premier League is
And
it's
in
last
fact,
ridiculous.
season-
Arsenal are playing so
This
well
has
right
been
now.
the worst season for me to watch as a Tottenham fan since I've been properly into football.
Yeah, but with us, last season was the first season that Brighton finished above us.
It was.
This season,
Still yet to beat you though in
well,
ages.
But this season,
1,418 days.
And counting.
He adds
How'd you
over.
find that out?
There's
He
a
just
Twitter
knows it.
account called Day Since Brighton Last Beat Palace, and I followed it, and I've got notifications every time it posts.
great. Well, we don't play him until.
I am sad. Don't.
I've been
Feb.
following one on TikTok as well, which is days since Arsenal finished above Tottenham. I think that one's in the thousands now, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to enjoy that.
I think
one
that's going to
much
be.
longer.
That's ending.
I think that's going to
That-
end
Both-
soon.
I think it's already ended.
Both those are
are
gonna end soon,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
I don't get how Brighton have done it. I mean, they're a greatly run club. And
Easy.
people talk about it all the time, but for them to lose Potter, lose Kukurea, lose Basuma, and for them to be this
XG
good,
monsters.
I'll
I'll
tell
tell
you
you,
what.
XG monsters they are.
they've lost Trossard now. As well.
XG
They
monsters.
are one of, if not the best run club in the Premier League, and it's
Yes.
up to say, but they are. They're bringing. They
Yeah.
do.
I mean,
they start.
they're up
They're,
there, I
they're
agree.
doing what Palace
Recruitment
want to do.
is
They're
very impressive.
bringing
They're doing
young
what you
players.
should do.
Brentford and Brighton's recruitment,
Yeah.
may I just
I
say,
just
both
guess the most
outstanding.
frustrating thing is they've been in the Premier League. We've been in the Premier League 4 years longer than
Don't say because they finished in the top half, mate. I can't be asked.
That Matoma, by the way, he is the next son.
What,
Genuinely,
did they
he
finish in the top
he
five?
could
That goal
be.
he scored.
He
Did they finish in the
that
top
goal
10?
that was literally
You're about to
that
say
was a
top 10,
carbon
top 10,
copy
you're about to say
of a Sun
They've been
finish.
in
Just
4
cut
years.
inside and whip it top corner. Honestly, he
Yeah,
was
they
loving
finished
it.
in top 10.
I thought it was an absolute carbon copy, and I think that he could be. Genuinely, the next son, he could be one of the
Yeah.
greatest Asian players ever. He's one of those where you see with like Kvaradona and
Yeah.
people like that wins. Kvaradona?
Who?
Kvaratskhelia. You
Who?
don't know about
Yeah,
him, honestly.
Kvaratskhelia.
Poor ball knowledge over here. Anyway,
Contact those comments.
Players like him, it's like you only have to watch a few games because you can see that they've got a spark. They've got something about them. They can take a man on. And I think with Matoma, I've watched him a few times, full match only twice, but I think that he's a quality player already.
Go on.
Really
Just
good.
sorry, going back to what Mason, what is your thing with finishing top half? What does it add to Palace if we finish in top half?
Well, we have actually finished in the top half before.
Yes.
14-15 seed, long time ago. But right, what I'm trying to say is right. I'm not saying I want Palace to finish in the top 4 or even Europa League or even the Conference League, because I know with the squad depth we've got, we would go down the following year.
Right.
I guarantee it. Right. But what I'm saying is, if we finished in the top half, right, I think a few more players from higher up would be a little bit more attracted to us and make the squad better overall.
People do forget that financially it could benefit a club a lot. I mean, in the Premier League, finishing one position higher, the difference between 8th and 9th is actually a decent amount of money, and especially the top
Yeah.
half, I think you get an extra little
And
payday.
I'm not
So,
being funny. I
I
mean,
mean,
we're desperate for cash.
the thing with Palace,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've been saying this since the
Six
start of the
watches only in the Premier
podcast,
League?
is I would hate to support a club like Palace at the moment because I don't see you going down anytime soon. I don't see you in European football anytime soon. You're
With
just
the NPC.
Yeah,
The
no,
NPC
genuinely.
is there.
If
We're like
I-
the mo-
wait,
we're like the
we
modern
wait for the
Stoke.
clubs.
Yes, with the owners,
We are the
with the
modern
owners
state, yeah.
you've got, you should be one of those clubs. And I look at your team every time we play you. I look at the starting 11 and I'm thinking, there's top players. That's a top 10 side in my opinion. I think that the managerial
Hierarchy.
hierarchy has not been great. Hiring managers, I don't think, is your specialty. And I think that if you could get a Graham Potter, then I think you're a top 10
Graham
side.
Potter, why?
Because
I
don't
said
think
this. I
Brighton
said
are
this.
better than
Do we?
That's why.
Jake said this.
I think you
yeah.
should get. I think he's gone to like China or something. I think you should get Nuno.
But this is
No.
why.
No,
Genuinely,
no. Saudi
genuinely.
Arabia.
We was
actually.
just because
Oh,
we
fair
was
enough.
linked with Nuno, but when we got Vieira, we was linked with Nuno.
Favre.
and
Lucy and
Favre.
Favre would have been great.
But this is why a
He'd
lot
come
of
to us,
Palace
though.
fans, including me, thought that Vieira was going to be a massive risk because we've always gone with the safe managers. Well, I mean, we only had one manager after Debola.
Vieira
But-
definitely wasn't a safe manager pick though.
I think he said no.
Go on, let him finish.
Let him finish.
Okay, fair
Now
enough.
I say it now, right? When Vieira signed, I thought what most of us thought we're either scraping relegation or we're going down.
We're in it.
Right.
We are in it.
Um,
His thought.
Look, when we signed Vieira as a manager, if you'd have said to me you're going to finish, what did we finish? 12th?
12th in the cup.
12th in the league and a cup semi-final, I'd say yeah,
You'd have bit
100%.
your hand off.
Listen, I'm
Bit his
gonna
hand off.
I'm gonna defend my manager here. I think Vieira. Listen, at times he does get
He
it
makes
right.
odd decisions.
He does make odd
sometimes.
decisions, and
Yeah.
but I guess he's a young manager. He's like
Yeah.
his third managerial position.
Role,
so I
yeah.
think he's so young. He's got potential to be a good manager.
Yeah.
Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. I
Absolutely.
think tactically he might not be there yet, but I think in some cases he does make the correct decisions.
Yeah.
However, on the flip side, sometimes he makes awful decisions. I think he has his
Agreed.
favourites.
But do you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do you reckon that's because he hasn't got the resources to back
That's
him?
where I was going to get onto. I think yes, we say he's still playing his favourites, like he still plays Ayew.
Yeah.
And he still plays Schlupp, still plays Ward. And I think the reason why I don't think we are top 10 yet is because you look at our team, I'd say half our team are top 10 quality.
Definitely.
And the
At
rest-
least, yeah.
At least. And the other half,
Championship.
high-end championship, I would say.
Yep.
Joel Ward, not Premier League player anymore.
To be fair,
Guy Eater, he is a good goalkeeper, but Sam
Shot
Johnson,
stopper, very good shot stopper.
Yeah.
good
Cannot distribute the ball to save his life.
Jeffrey Schlupp, listen, I think he's a decent
squad player.
squad player.
If I was in a
Not
room
to
with
start.
Jeffrey Schlupp, Hitler, and Bin Laden, I'd shoot Jeffrey Schlupp twice.
Eh.
Honestly.
Right.
I hate him.
I actually
I
put
hate
that out
him.
for the record. I do not agree with Jack's views, and I would kill Hitler. And Bin
No,
Laden.
no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm copying in the Office meme, by the way. The Office meme, guys. The Office meme. Come on.
Sorry.
But where was I? I've lost my track. But anyway, I think that is probably one of the reasons. I think squad depth and not being backed
Because
has been a problem.
the key to being a good manager is having a good board with you.
Yeah.
Good board. So I
Yeah.
think in the summer, let's hope. Apparently, there is going to be a pot of money that's waiting for us. We're going
Yeah.
to invest. So let's just get past this sort of tough 4 or 5 months. A bit
Yeah.
boring, narrowly getting points against Man United, against
Yep.
Newcastle.
Yes.
Cracking goal from Elise, by the way. I don't know if we've touched on the
Woo!
podcast, but
Quality.
what's the
Team celebrate.
That's how cold he is. He doesn't need to celebrate. He
Loudest
He is that
Selhurst
good.
bin, you said.
this
Selhurst.
season, I think from when that went in to the final whistle, I would say, Jack, you would agree with me, you sit right near me, I'd say about 90% of us were standing up.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when Eze put that ball through to Wilf,
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
Was that one Bissaka tackle?
I thought that was
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
He
Could
just
you imagine if that one went
The
in?
worst
back
part.
rifled in.
Anyone but one Bissaka, I think, is a goal.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
in the
I
Premier
think
Or-
League.
Wolves
or
said- I think
Emerson
Wolves said
Royale, of
that.
course.
I think Wolves said that.
Yeah.
It just had to be. It had to be Wani, the OG star.
Yeah.
boy.
Worst part of that United game was I was filming while Elise was lining up for that free kick. Couple of seconds more, and you'd have seen. Well,
You would have
my
got a
reaction
video.
I
to
would
that
have thought the
goal.
worst part of the game is when you conceded. But
Yeah.
fair enough.
Or we looked
So
like we were
you
losing
can't
for
put
it.
that-
I was
the
kind of
Premier League
expecting.
copyright.
Is it?
Technically.
To be fair, yeah, that's fair enough. I was saying that you lot would get clapped.
No,
that
I
game.
thought we would lose, but hey, Jack,
I-
can I ask you a
It was a
question?
great result.
Yep, go on.
Were you there to watch that free kick?
Yeah, was you there?
Jack, were you there?
Pardon?
Were you
Were you there? Were you at the Palace game?
To watch which one?
The free kick?
The free kick.
Elise?
Were you there?
I just mentioned Jake. I was there.
Were you at the Bournemouth game?
No.
He was
What?
not at the Bournemouth game. We
I
can
wasn't there.
confirm for
I
all the
was-
comments on TikTok, Jack was not at the game.
No, I was.
But speaking of United, touching on, I believe, what will probably be our last topic, might be able to fit in another one. There's been a lot of VAR controversy recently.
Jack, this is your moment
Your
to
fault.
Yeah.
send me a TikTok just to put you in there. So just
Oh, comments.
be careful
will
what you
love this
say.
Again. The comments will love this again. Sorry, yeah, go on. We'll start from here. VAR. Don't look at me like this.
What? I'm just intrigued.
Jake's got the thumbnail ready.
Nice, really.
Alright, carry on, guys. Carry on.
Yeah, VAR. Marcus Rashford. I think that was the big
Yes.
one.
Man United versus City.
Yeah,
a
the
week
big
ago, or
game.
a bit more.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Mace is
I'm
loving
just
it.
waiting for it. I'm waiting.
He's waiting for the verdict. Was it offside, Jack?
Yeah,
Get us-
yeah,
get
of
us
course
into
it was
the
offside.
dirty
There at that
details.
game as well.
Oh, I might as well have been there, yeah. I was watching on the TV and I felt like I'm there.
No, but on a real blatant
Oh,
offside.
Blatant offside, yeah.
What's VAR's role if that isn't offside?
He just blocked completely.
the best
blocked
best
Akanji.
image I've seen that sums it up, right, is if you take a picture from this certain angle, right, and you just take Rashford out of it, it's like Akanji's next to the ball and Bruno's over here. Akanji's blatantly getting to it, but it's like if Rashford's not there, it's never a goal. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
No, United
obviously
fans
it's
did
the
try
same
to
way.
argue that. They tried to take Rashford out and was like, Akanji's actually 5 yards away from the ball. and on top of that, Edison wouldn't have got that. And like all the comments were like not taken into account.
Finish, right?
They weren't taking into account
good
the fact that
finish,
Akanji would have just stepped across the ball when the ball originally came through.
Yeah.
If Rashford was there, I think they've got to start brushing up on those decisions.
Yeah.
Clear and obvious is what it's getting. I agree. The little by the skin or
Yeah.
by like the hair on the back of their neck being offside. I agree that that's not clear and obvious. But when it's like that blatant, you've got
Agreed.
you've got to give that as offside.
Yeah,
And
it makes
if I was a City fan, I think that's against everyone's team. You'd be absolutely
Yeah,
livid.
I believe there was an incident as well. Wolves versus Man City. Again, a City one, but this time it was given to them. The Haaland penalty. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not,
No,
but
I haven't.
essentially it's... Everyone said, they do Ref Watch and Sky Sports News now
Yeah.
to see if they were right. Everyone's saying it should never have been a penalty. It's Grealish goes down, but he goes down really easily. And
Grealish.
I think the excuse that was given was the referee has made an on-field decision, so an VAR...
Was that the Collins
think
one
it's-
that wasn't given?
I don't know.
Because there was one that was.
I feel like it was the one that
at
was
the end
given.
of the first half. City had one, and again it was
Hmm.
Grealish against Collins, and he did a little step over, beat him, and Collins slide tackled into him, and did take his leg out, and they checked it, and the commentary I was watching, they were like, "Oh, we're giving us a pen, I reckon."
Yes.
And VAR checked it, and it didn't get given.
It's mad.
And even the commentator was like, "Wow, I'm very surprised that didn't get given." And I thought Haaland was going to get another
Yeah.
6 points.
I've
from this,
got
but-
to bring one up as well because I've seen a lot of people saying it's blatant. Palace, Man United,
McTominay.
Chris Richards on
Stonewall.
McTominay.
Oh,
Stonewall. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later he scored. So.
Yeah, I mean that would have put the game to bed.
Actually, from my angle, it did look like he won the ball.
No, from our angle, from where we're sitting, it looked like Chris Richards got it, but when you rewatch it, Stone.
Mate, the people are going around me like, "Oh, typical United, getting all the dodgy decisions." All this.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I agree. Honestly, clearly won the ball." I don't know how they're checking that, and I've got home, and I've just seen like the actual thing. I've gone, "How on earth they
Yeah.
not giving that? That is disgraceful."
Stonewall, it is a Stonewall.
But I guess karma comes. What goes around comes around.
Yeah, well,
Man United.
Exactly. Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it makes
You despair.
You know what? Defenders, how can defenders play if VAR ain't gonna do its proper job?
Yep.
I saw this thing on Match of the Day where what's his name was talking, Michael Richards, and he was just saying like, how can a defender read the game? Because Marcus Rashford bringing back the Man United one. Marcus Rashford's blatantly offside. If you're the defender, you're not watching what Rashford's doing because he's offside.
Yeah.
If he receives the ball, it's offside. So they're only watching what's in front of them.
Yeah.
So as soon as that ball's played offside, they've all stopped because they're like, well, he's offside.
Yeah.
We've kept our line.
It's
we've kept our
stupid,
shape. We've kept our shape. It's
No,
offside.
you're right. Yeah.
And they've given it. You know what? I don't care if Man City, win most Premier League titles and win all these and that. It's the rules.
Yep,
You
agreed.
don't give a goal when it's blatantly offside, and the defenders are only doing what they're being paid to do.
Yes.
It's just a shambles. Like
Yeah.
VAR that need to sort
See,
themselves
what's your
out.
thoughts on VAR, Mason?
VAR
Crap.
in or out?
Out.
Out.
Get it out.
He agrees with Ben Foster.
Crap.
Okay.
Fair
Because
enough.
the thing is, it keeps the debate. Well, to be fair, VAR makes you debate even more. To be fair, but the purpose of VAR is to make debates less, because VAR
Yeah.
is supposed to have all this technology
Exactly.
to make the decisions absolutely precise.
Yeah.
To make everyone go, you know what, that was offside, or
Yeah.
that wasn't a handball, and etc. But this has actually made people argue more.
Not too long ago, I would have said, I wouldn't get rid of VAR, I'd just use the Champions League one, because, we were talking about how the way they do it.
yeah. Yeah, we said
VAR,
that.
I mean, we've missed the Champions League recently and the way that
Right,
they
that-
do it.
but the World Cup changed my opinion
Even
on that,
after Tottenham versus Sporting, I want to say,
Yeah.
Tottenham versus Sporting at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where obviously if we won, we topped the league, we topped the thing. They battered us all game. Marcus Edwards, former Tottenham player. I think we made it 1-1 very late on, and Harry Kane of all people, who'd been crap all game, he smashes in the winner. Whole team goes mental. Jed Spence, blah, 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 and I'm loving it. I'm going mental in this pub with my uncle. I'm loving it. And then I see VAR,
Brexit
and then
geezer,
I
what a
see
mate.
the most stupid offside decision I've ever seen in my life
Yeah.
given. And honestly, the whole journey home, the whole night, I was like, this sport is dead. This, honestly, it made me lose all hope that game. I was livid.
It's terrible.
If we hadn't beat Marseille in the last second and we came second in that group, I would have been livid, even now.
But you know what though? As unpredictable as VAR is, it's also going to sound stupid, predictable as well. Because like these referees, you could. I get that the pressure of a referee must be absolutely insane with the.
Of course,
with the,
yeah.
With the.
But not the blokes who were sat in a room watching the game the whole time. There's no pressure.
With the slack that they get in and all that, and there's about a massive crowd, 30,000, 40,000 around them, watching the same thing, and he can only make the decision. But as soon as he goes to the screen, that's a penalty. He's going to change his mind because he thinks that
if he's been told
four
it's-
blokes
Well,
in
they
the
did it
room-
with Palace. He stuck with his decision. I think that's the only time I've
But
ever
it
seen
depends.
happen.
It
was
depends
against
on the
Palace.
ref. Depends on the ref. I think 90 to 95% of the time,
Yeah.
you will see the ref
Oh, they
change his
change it,
mind
yeah.
because the ref is being paid to officiate the match that is in front of him.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's actually just. He might as well just sit in the crowd with a pie or something because he's not. He's not doing his
Which
actual
pie?
job.
Steak pie?
Oh, chicken pie. I won at Chelsea. It was brilliant.
Fair enough.
But at the end of the day,
Cracking.
he's not doing his job.
Yeah.
There's 4 people there just in a room going. And I watched. There was a VAR decision. I think it was Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
When Nottingham Forest goal was called off because of offside, and I looked at them and I thought, they had a cup of tea next to them and a headset and all that. It was like they were playing Xbox.
Yeah.
No pressure whatsoever. And then you've got the referee, 10,000 people watching the same thing. He's going to change.
I think
his
they should
mind.
have to do an interview. I reckon after a big
Well,
video
they
decision after the game.
Literally
won the conversation within the VAR
To be
room.
heard in the stadium.
Or to go on the tannoys, yeah.
I think that's risky though. I don't think they do that. I agree with the idea. I don't think they do that.
I mean, there's
I think
some
that'd
people
be
that
so
say
good.
like live scenes. It's like,
Yeah.
it's Chelsea. Is it Chelsea? Oh, good. Give
Give
the
it.
goal. In. Give the goal. Give the goal. Against who?
Yeah, but I think.
Aston who?
Who? Yeah, give it.
But I think the refs will just lie anyway. I think because they ain't got to tell the explicit truth, have they? They could just lie to
That's
make
why
it
you got to do it on
sound
the
better.
tannoy.
Maybe, yeah.
Get it on the tannoy.
I think that mostly wraps up this episode. This is the
Yeah.
first one that we've been back for. If you're on Spotify, please let us know what the mic quality is like. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've got the whole
And
studio.
Getting
watching
banned
aren't
in
YouTube.
comments
props.
for that. They are
They
not
are not
props.
props for the
Guys.
TikToks, honestly.
Guys.
But yeah,
Money on
thanks for all the support
Lots
on
of
the
money.
TikToks and stuff. Recently, we've been doing very well.
Got one
And
over.
we are
Right.
very excited for more uploads, essentially, on
Stop
a
with
weekly
Jack
basis.
abuse.
Hashtag
Honestly,
end
hashtag
Jack
it, mate.
abuse. But
Hashtag it.
Hashtag was he there?
was he there?
What's in there?
All right,
But
well,
yeah.
that wraps up this episode.
Hashtag
See ya.
Tottenham
See you guys.
boys.
Bye bye.